Hello, it's Jeanette with Amazing Paper Crafts. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm back with another video tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how I put together this card using some of the Tropical Oasis Designer Series paper and some of the dies from the Tropical Oasis suite. And I'll show you how I did this flower too. This is a really cute thank you card with some embossing on it. And if you'd like to learn how I made this card, just continue watching. So to start with, we're going to have a piece of cardstock. That's a half a sheet of the 8.5 by 11. So this measures 11 inches by 4 1/4, 11 by 4 1/4, and I scored it at 5.5. Because we're gonna fold it like this. It's gonna be a stand-up card like that. Okay, so the next piece you're gonna need is the layering piece, and this measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm going to take out my punch, and this is the Label Me Lovely punch. It's new in the mini catalog, and I am just going to take my my cardstock, and I'm pushing it all the way till you can't push it anymore into this punch, and just trying to make sure that it's centered, and I'm kind of eyeballing it. We're just going to go for it. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my thank you, and it's going to be right in the middle here, but I don't really do it very neatly. So what I'm going to do is take out my Stamp-A-Majig, because I want this to be, perfect. Yes, like that. And I'm going to put this right in the corner here. And I'm going to put magnets on it so that it doesn't move. And my stamp is the thank you stamp from the Timeless Tropical. That's this one right here. So I want it to make sure that I've got this nice and straight. Like that. I'm going to pick this up. Okay. And then I am going to ink it up with some Pretty Peacock ink. Okay. And let's ink that up. It's just a little crooked, but that's okay. I'm okay with that being just a little bit crooked. Now I'm going to take my card, and I am going to do my embossing. Now the embossing folder that I'm going to be using is from the suite, the Timeless Tropical suite, and it is called Coastal Weave. It is a 3D embossing folder, and so what you want to make sure of is when you put your paper in there, that it lines up with this bottom straight edge right there by where it says Stampin' Up. And that is what I'm doing. And so what I like to do is I like to close it from the top first, and then I'm taking this to the Big Shot. I'm using this one here, and I'm going to just go ahead and place this down here. And I'm also going to be using the blue plate. This is Stampin' Up's solution to not having to put a lot of shims in here. Okay, so I'm taking this to the Big Shot, and I will be right back. All right. Here's my paper all embossed. Isn't that pretty? Okay, I'm going to put this away. And now we are going to work on the card base, and that is this here. And what I need to do is I need to figure out where and how I'm going to position this so that it shows through. Isn't that pretty? I think it's going to go right there. Yep. All right, so I can kind of eyeball it there, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use some snail adhesive to, let me get out my silicone craft sheet here. I'm going to use some snail adhesive on here. And I would say that it's about roughly 3/4 of an inch down, but I want to make sure that I've got it right. It's about right here. Okay. And so when I lay this over, that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so let's put some Stampin' Dimensionals on here. And I have a sheet here that I need to kind of use up all the side pieces here. So I'm going to start cutting some of these pieces here. I still have some here. Okay, so let's put some dimensionals all over the back. Okay, I think that's good. Maybe we'll put one dimensional right here to keep that stable there. So let's take off all of the backer paper from these dimensionals. And now I'm going to put a little bit of glue, of liquid glue. That's my Tombow Mono multi-purpose glue here. I'm going to put some, then this is just so that it gives me a little bit of wiggle room when I go and I place it on my card. And this would ensure that I get it right where I want it to be, right in the center of my card base. And you don't have to do this if you've got a steady hand. Seems like the older I get, the less steady my hands are. So I have a workaround. And we are going to do this right here. Make sure that this is perfectly straight all the way around. Okay, now that looks pretty just like that, but we're going to add some embellishments here. And this isn't a Stampin' Up product, but what I did was I go to Michael's sometimes and I buy these little flowers to stick on things. Not just necessarily cards, but a lot of other things I use these little things for. Flower arrangements and stuff. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet. Let me show you how I get these. I get these in a bag like this, and they're all different sizes and everything. And of course I use my discount because they're not real cheap, but they're cheap enough where they give you a lot, so they last forever. So let's see what we're going to do with this. I am going to take out my sponge dauber, and I am going to bring out my So Saffron ink. Oops. And what I'm going to do is, if you see that there's like a back and a front, the front has like this little hump on it, I'm just going to take my sponge dauber and just color these little paper flowers here. Now, you could punch out some flowers if you've got a nice punch that will punch out some pretty flowers here. I just kind of like the way these lay and how they're embossed. So this is why I'm using a non-Stampin' Up product here. But like I say, if you want to punch out or color and punch out or die cut a flower for this centerpiece, yeah, try it. I tried a few different ones, but I wasn't happy with it. So that's why I decided to go with these little paper flowers from Michael's. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my Flirty Flamingo. Actually, you know what? I may take out my Melon Mambo. Let's try Melon Mambo. Yeah, I think it's going to be Melon Mambo. Okay, and not Flirty Flamingo. Although I might be able to use both of them. Let's see. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am just going to color the top parts right here with the Melon Mambo. And yes, I do like the way Melon Mambo looks. So now you've got sort of a mixed color right here. It's really pretty. I hope it's coming across nicely on camera because it is really pretty little technique here. Okay, And if you want to, you could even start out with Flirty Flamingo and then darken it with Melon Mambo. But I like the way it looks with the So Saffron. Okay, so I am going to be layering these. But before I do that, I'm going to take out my Melon Mambo Stampin' Up marker. And on just one of these, I am just going to make some streaks in the center here. Nothing really, you know, major. Just to give it a little bit of color here. And to break up that yellow in the center here. And I'm only going to do it with one because I'm going to be hiding the other one. So we're just going to layer that one like that. Okay. And you can put as many streaks as you want. Make it colorful. Okay. Let's see. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so I am going to take a glue dot here, and I'm going to take your pick tool, this one here, and take a glue dot, and I'm going to put a glue dot right in the back of this. And let's stagger this so that it's, you know, it looks like a nice full flower. And like I said, you can make this flower any way you want to. You could even layer more flowers, more petals on here. It's going to be a really pretty decoration just right here. And what I'm going to use for the centerpiece, I have the 2019 to 2021 faceted dots, and I'm going to take one of the big ones here. Let's see, will it look good with the big one? Oh, no, I think I'll take a smaller one. It doesn't have to be that big. Yeah, I like the smaller one better. It looks a little bit nicer. And we're just going to press that in. Okay, and then we're going to put a dimensional on here. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the dimensional on here first. And then I will put the flower here. There we go. All right, now let's do some leaves. I kind of didn't really know what color to do my leaves, so I die cut a couple of colors, and the leaves that I use came from the In the Tropics die set. That can be purchased as a bundle. If you don't get the whole suite, you could just buy just the stamp set and the dies. But this is the I did one of these, or I did a couple of these, couple of those, couple of those, couple of those. I've already done the die cutting, but I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to like, you know, the way the leaves turned out or the colors. So maybe I'll use both. These are the Pretty Peacock ones, okay? And this one here, this is the Old Olive. I'm not sure yet. If this was a live video, you could tell me, oh, that looks good, or oh, no, don't do that. So we're just going to play it by ear here. Hopefully this is going to look nice. I'd really like to have a few different options here. But I'm going to play around with this a little bit just to see. Maybe I'll put this one right here. Put that one in the middle. Well, that doesn't look too bad like that. Let me bring it up to the camera so you can see. I think I like that. So I think I'm just going to forego those two and use just the two Pretty Peacock ones right there. And I'm going to use my glue dots to set them in. So with my Take Your Pick tool, I'm going to just put a glue dot behind here and kind of tuck it in like that. And go a little further in. And I'll do that with all of these. And there you go. I think I'm pretty much done. See how simple that was? But how pretty. This paper just makes it pop. And then this dimensions of the flowers and the leaves. I really, really like this card. And I hope you like it too. I hope I have taught you something. Like I said, you don't have to use the kind of flower I used. You can die cut a flower or punch one out to make it your own. cleaning up my little mess over here. Okay. So if you need any of the tools and supplies that I used in this video, please go to my website at www.geamazingpapercrafts.stampinup.net. All of the tools and the supplies that I used in this video are going to be listed in the description of the video. So I hope I can be your demonstrator if you don't already have one. And once again, I am Jeanette with Geamazing Paper Crafts, and you make it a great day. Bye-bye.